Hi, I'm Lisa. Welcome to my channel. This is my random recipes. Let's have breakfast one more time. Today is the end of the line. It's the last of the breakfast series. Today I'm going to be making potato and egg frico. I've never made this food before. I've never eaten this food before. The first time I saw this recipe, it was being done by a very famous TV chef, and it just looked good. So I did some research to see if I could find a recipe, which I did. But I've never gotten the courage up to try it until today. I think a frico is similar to a frittata, but I've never had a frittata either, so I really have no. This is totally going to be a first for me. From what I've come to understand, frittata is baked or finished in the oven, and the frittata is finished on the stove. So I'll be working over at my stove today. I'm going to be cooking in my cast iron skillet because that just seems like a good idea. I guess it's time to get to work, and I'll meet you over at the stove. I'm over here at the stove. I'm going to turn my camera down so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So starting with my potatoes, I'm doing a half recipe. I just don't really need that big of a recipe today. So it's supposed to be 1.5 pounds of russet potatoes, or about 4 small ones. So I actually use red potatoes. So you are supposed to cook them ahead of time, which I've done. I cooked them in the microwave yesterday. Let them cool, put them in the fridge. Then just a little bit ago, I peeled them and sliced them so they're ready to go. I'm gonna set those aside for a moment. We're using 8 ounces of Asiago cheese, so I'm gonna put that in there. And then I'm supposed to coat it with 1/8 of a cup of cornmeal. It does say to use polenta, so I was deciding whether or not to buy polenta or to use cornmeal because I have that, or to use Masa Harina, which I do have that as well. I ended up going with the Masa Harina because it's a finer grain. I was afraid that if I went with the coarser grain that it was going to end up crunchy and hard. And this is mostly just to coat the cheese. This is 1/8 of a cup of extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to add that to my frying pan. I'm going to heat the oil up. One way you can tell when the oil is ready is when it begins to shimmer or sparkle. One other way I use is a drop of water, and that will dance across the oil when it's ready to go. Okay, we're starting to get some steam. The heated 12-inch nonstick skillet. This is actually I think it's a 9 or a 10-inch. And then we're going to add onion and potatoes. So this is half of a large onion sliced. I'm doing the half recipe, so it did call for a whole onion, but I'm just using half today because I just don't need that big of a recipe. And then we need to put in our potatoes. And we want to kind of spread them out. And then we're also adding 1/4 of a cup of chopped pickled pepperoncinos. So we're going to cook this until browned, about 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, we're about 4 minutes in. I'm going to see if they're starting to brown. Okay, they're looking pretty good. I'm going to flip these. Give them another turn. We're 8 minutes in. I'm going to give them another turn. I think I will go the extra 2 more minutes. So we're at 10 minutes now. So I'm supposed to scoop these out onto the plate. Okay, so let me salt my potatoes. I totally forgot to do that, but that should be okay. So I'm going to use half of my cheese and spread it into a layer at the bottom of the frying pan. 3/4 of my potato mixture and spread it evenly over my cheese. And smell the cheese cooking. We'll save a little bit. So next, make a depression with potato mixture. We're going to make 3 of them. So I'm going to be using 3 eggs. And I'm going to crack the eggs into the depressions. And then I'm supposed to put the rest of the potato mixture over the top. Now I'm going to add the rest of the cheese. Okay, that looks good. You know when the Frico is ready to flip when it slides in the pan. If necessary, loosen the sides with a knife to help it along. All right, so what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to slide this out onto the plate. And this slides back into the frying pan. And we cook the other side of the cheese. So not the prettiest in the world. So my egg has broken, I can see that. Now we're just waiting for the cheese on the top side, which is now the bottom, to cook and firm up. All right, let's take a peek. Okay, it looks good. Oh, it broke. Dang it. Well, I'm so sorry. Well, it did break, but hopefully it'll still taste good. So I'll have to move over to the table to finish our visit. Come over here at the table again. Turn the camera down so you can see. Unfortunately, I broke it as it was coming out of the pan. I'm sure the recipe's good. It's just my technique needs a little bit of work. So I'm going to serve myself some of this. I'll make sure I get an egg. I have to be able to cut through the cheese at the bottom. Ideally, you're supposed to serve this in wedges. Well, here the cheese is kind of crunchy at the bottom. Garnish with a little bit of chives. And I'll turn this up. This is the final product. Garnish with a little bit of chives. Here we go for a taste. That's good. The potatoes are nice and soft. Let's try the part where it's crunchy. So this is the cheese. Right here's the cheese that's crunchy. That's a good meal. If I could master the technique of flipping it in and out of the frying pan, that'd be great. But I mean, it doesn't look pretty, but it tastes good. So I like Asiago cheese. If you've never had it, it's kind of sharp. That's got kind of a nutty flavor to it, and it melts really well, which is why they use it for this particular recipe. So yeah, I'd recommend it. I really had no idea how this was going to turn out. So I'm wrapping up this series, taking a chance on a recipe that I had absolutely no idea how well or if it was going to turn out at all. I guess I have had my fair share of experiments. This is the last of the breakfasts. I hope you've enjoyed this series. It was kind of a long one. So what's next? It's been just a little over a year since I began recording videos. And it just seemed like the right time to stop and take a look back on the recipes that I've shared with you, the videos that I've recorded over the past year or so. Next time I will be doing a best of episode. So I'll be going back over all the recipes that were the most popular. So I hope you will join me for that. As for the Frico, I will include the ingredients and the preparation for the recipe in the description below. If you have any questions or if you have any feedback from me, I'd love to hear from you. Please feel free to reach out to me in the comments. I would really appreciate that. I enjoy our conversations. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. That would be great. I would really appreciate that. Thanks for joining me on my journey so far. We'll see you next time. Bye.